going to read an excerpt from the Wandering Rocks episode of Ulysses. In this episode, Lanahan and McCoy spot Leopold Bloom, who's the main character in the book. The book is about Leopold Bloom's wandering through Dublin on one day, today, June 16th. They spot him at booksellers, and Lanahan gossips to McCoy about getting friendly with Bloom's wife Molly in a carriage ride they took. Meanwhile, Leopold is choosing a racy book at the booksellers to bring to Molly. So now, Robert Goodrich, take it away.
I'm going to take a second for me to set up. Can everyone hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, a little louder. No.
There he is, Lanahan said. Wonder what he's buying, McCoy said, glancing behind. The Leopoldo or the Bloom is on the rod, Lanahan said. He's nuts on sales, McCoy said. I was with him one day and he bought a book from the old one on Liffey Street for $2. There was fine plates in it worth double the money. The stars and the moon and the comets with long tails, astronomy was Lanahan laughed. I'll tell you a damn good one about comets' tails instead. Come over in the sun. Lanahan. They crossed to the metal bridge and went along Wellington Quay to the Riverwalk. Master Patrick Aloysius Dignam carried out magnums, late Fehrenbachs, carrying the pound and a half of pork toast. There was a long spread out at Glen Creek Reformatory, Lanahan said eagerly. The annual dinner, you know, boiled shirt affair. The Lord Mayor was there, about Dylan it was, and Sir Charles Cameron and Dan Dawson spoke, and there was music. Bartell D'Arcy sang, and Benjamin Dowd. I know, McCoy broke in. My missus sang there once. Did he? Did she? Lanahan said. A clerk, unfurnished apartments, reappeared on the window sash of number 7, Eccles Street. He checked his tail a moment and broke out in a wheezy laugh. But wait till I tell you, he said. Delahunt of Camden Street had the catering, and yours truly was chief bottle washer. Bloom and the wife were there. Lashings of stuff were put up. Port wine and sherry and curacao, to which we did ample justice. Fast and furious it was. After liquids came solids, cold joints galore, and mince pies. I know, McCoy said. The year the missus was there, Lanahan linked his arm warmly. But wait till I tell you, he said. We had a midnight lunch too, after all of the jollification. And when we sallied forth, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, after the night before. Coming home, it was a gorgeous winter's night on the Featherbed Mountain. Bloom and Chris Callahan were on one side of the car, and I was with the wife on the other. We started singing cleaves and duets, lo the early beam of morning. She was well primed with a good load of Delahunt's port under her belly band. Every jolt the bloody car gave, I had her bumping against me. Hell's delight, she has a great fine pair. God bless her. Like that. He held his cave hands a cubit from him, frowning. I was tucking the rug under her and settling her boa all the time. You know what I mean? His hands molded ample curves in the air. He shut his eyes tight in delight. His body shrinking and blew a sweet chirp from his lips. The lad stood at attention anyhow, he said with a sigh. She's a gamey mare and no mistake. Bloom was pointing out all the stars and the comets in the heaven, and Chris Callahan and the Jarley, the great bear and Hercules and the dragon, and the whole jing-bang lot. But by God, I was lost, so to speak, in the Milky Way. He knows them all, faith. At last, she spotted a weeny wishy one miles away. And what star is that, Poldy? She said. By God, she had blue cornered. That one is it, said Chris Callahan. Surely that's not what you might call a pinprick. By God, he wasn't there off the mark. Lenehan stopped and leaned on the riverwalk, panting with soft laughter. I'm weak. McCoy's white face smiled about it an instant and grew grave. Lenehan walked on ahead. He lifted his yachting cap and scratched his hind head rapidly. He glanced sideways in the sunlight at McCoy. He's a cultured, all-around man, Bloom is, he said seriously. He's not one of your common or garden. You know, there's a touch of artist in old Bloom. Mr. Bloom turned over idly pages of the awful disclosures of Maria Monk, then of Aristotle's masterpiece, crooked, botched prints, plates, infants cuddled in a ball of blood-red wounds like livers of slaughtered cows. Lots of them like that. All this moment, all over the world, all budding with their skulls to get out. Child born every minute somewhere. Purefoy. He laid both books aside and glanced at the third, Tales of the Ghetto by Leopold von Sacher-Masoch. That I had, he said, pushing it by. The shopman let 2 volumes fall on the counter. Them are good ones, he said. Onions of his breath came across the counter out of his ruined mouth. He bent to make a bundle of the other books, huddled them close to his unbuttoned waistcoat, and bore them off behind the dingy curtain. On O'Connell Bridge, many persons observed the great, the poignant, and gay apparel of Mr. Dennis J. Magny, Professor of Dancing, Incorporated. Mr. Bloom alone looked at the titles. Fair Tyrants by James Lovebird. Know the kind, that is. Had it? Yes. He opened it. Thought so. A woman's voice behind the dingy curtain. Listen, the man. No. She wouldn't like that much. Got her at once. He read the other title. Sweets of Sin. More like it. Let us see. He read where his finger opened. All the dollar bills her husband gave her were spent in the stores on wondrous gowns and costliest frillies. For him, for Raoul. Yes. This, here, try. Her mouth glued on his in a luscious, voluptuous kiss while his hands felt for the opulent curves inside her desshabille. Yes! Take this. The end. You are late, he spoke hoarsely, eyeing her with a suspicious glare. The beautiful woman threw off her sable-trimmed wrap, displaying her queenly shoulders and heaving en bon point. An imperceptible smile played around her perfect lips as she turned to him calmly. Mr. Bloom read again. The beautiful woman. Warmth showered gently over him, cowing his flesh. Flesh yielded amply amid rumpled clothes, whites of eyes swooning up. His nostrils arched themselves for prey, melting breast ointments. For him, for Raoul. Armpits oniony sweat, fish gluey slime, her heaving en bon point. Feel! Press, crushed, sulfur dung of lions. Young! Young! An elderly female, no more young, left the building in the courts of Chancery, King's Bench, Exchequer, and Common Pleas, having heard in the Lord Chancellor's Court the case of lunacy of Potterton in the Admiralty Division of Summon's ex parte motion of the owners of Lady Cairns versus the owner of Bark Mona in the Court of Appeals reservation of judgment in the case of Harvey versus the Ocean Accident and Guarantee Corporation. Fleming! Claws shook the air of the bookshop, bulging out the dingy curtains. The shopman's uncombed gray head came out, and his unshaven, ruddy face coughing. He raked his throat rudely, cubed phlegm on the floor. He put his boot on what he had spat, wiping his sole along it, and bent, showing a raw-skinned crown, scantily haired. Mr. Bloom beheld it. Mastering his troubled breath, he said, I'll take this one. The shopman lifted eyes bleared with old gloom. Sweets of Sin, he said, tapping on it. That's a good one.
Thank you kindly, Robert Goodrich. The next reading will be at 9 o'clock. We invite you to come check out some information about the planet. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your drinks. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here.